Hey y'all, so I couldn't speak this morning when I placed the trade because I was heading up the door. Um, but today is a good day. Let me go ahead and zoom in to get my stop loss in a good little area. So still it's still moving. I think it's gonna go a little further down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place the stop loss here, and then I'm going to go to another play. I'm gonna go to another tangent of this video alongside of what's going on here. So I want to talk about because we come to a place in our lives where we need consistency. Okay, we need consistency, and we're gonna talk about a couple of things that I think is important for all traders to consider. Okay, you need to have a way to be consistent in your approach to the markets. There's no other way to look at it. Um, so let's look because we got gold on here. I don't want that to distract you. So we're gonna go use GU for an example. But what is the best case scenario for making 100,000 a year? All right. What will be a good strategy? We all know um, we have we have 5 days in a week. It's 52 weeks in a year. So we have 260 days, 260 trading days a year. Okay. So for 100,000, let's look at what we would need to do each day to make 100,000. So 100,000 divided by 260 days is around $384.62. So let's just round it up to $400 a day. Okay. $400 a day times 260 is 104,000. Okay. 104,000, $400 a day. Okay. Now there's two ways you can approach this. Obviously with GU, all you would need to do that is at least $400 to $500 minimum to start off trading at standard lot trades. Or what you can do is take $100 to $200 and you can do prop firm. I know for some people they have a hard time dealing with uh, unregulated brokers. So if you want to have a safer way to build that, you can try doing the prop firm way, which gives you a little bit more cushion to trade with. Um, but you still have to deal with the percentages when it comes to withdrawals. So we have to think about discipline. But I don't care how gifted or skilled you are only as good as your discipline for it to work. Okay? If you good at it, but you spotty on your timing, you don't get up in time, your lifestyle affects how you can benefit from the market, then your knowledge of the market doesn't do you any justice. Not just that, but when it comes to being a trader or offering trading information to people, with laws, there are laws that you cannot, and God spare me from this, but you cannot trade people. You're not supposed to trade people without being licensed. But as a financial consultant, you don't need to have a license to consult someone pertaining to this here information about forex. And then one of the best ways to solidify your stance as a financial consultant for forex is to show a track record of consistency, right? So we have to, and I'm preaching to the choir here. We have to get out of the fast money of taking the small amount, turning it into a great amount, which is not bad, but it's no way to be consistent in that, right? So if you can turn a small amount into turn $40 into $600, $700, slow your roll, right? Slow down, and then just focus on the bigger picture. Let's focus on making 2,000 a week. 2,000 a week is 500 a day. Anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 a week, right? And we know that we can do that trading standard lots on GU or a different different pairs that provide us enough uh, volatility that doesn't take us out of there. So, like, just look at, for example, today. You had a couple trading opportunities. I'm gonna speak on the ones that at least two, and it's gonna be based off of the last video that I recorded about using the RSI, the TDI levels, to determine your trades, right? And remember how I mentioned that if the clouds are above 37, you should buy. So this was an entry here. So if you coming out the gate, well, I'm in Eastern Standard Time. So you coming out of the gate, you got $500 in your account. You place a standard lot here, put your stop loss here. So you're risking about $100 to make 35 to 40, not even 40 pips, but $350, right? So that's $350 there. And then if you look at when RSI broke beneath the 60, 63, which is around here, which way actually here, and you took another standard lot for the sale, that's another 350. So these two trades alone before New York, right? One trade in the evening when you went to sleep, one trade at the beginning of the day. You come back home or whatever, and you're done. That's $700 right there, right? So that's, you already took. If your goal was to do that 1,500 to 2,000 a week, you almost clipped at least half your goal just by looking at those levels, right? So, and that's just the thing. Don't change your lot size. So you made $700 on a $500 capital initial start. So your account is at $1,200. So you telling me this day, just 5 days a week, not to mention a day like this, where if you got in, the clouds are above 37, beginning of the day, you put a standard line in here, and as you can see, the clouds went above the 50. It's one thing to have the clouds above the 37. When the clouds go above the 50, there's no reason to sell until you obviously get the RSI to come back under, which is at the beginning of the next day. So this one trade took you out the whole day. So a standard lot to the high of the day, 150 pips, that's 1,500. So one day produced that. So that 1,500 plus the 700 from the day, you're already hitting goals, right? And that's just trading. The consistency is not in so much the pips alone, which it can be. But if you want to maximize your month or get to your next level, you just keep it at the same. Keep your standard lot until you reach the goal. And so, who do you know that makes $8,000 a month? Right now, that $8,000 a month is the $400 a day, 20 days out of the month because it's 5 days a week, right? $8,000 a month on their own dime still has time for everything else. So here's the thing that we have to look at. We cannot look at the benefits of something that we are not willing to become. The benefits are a given. All right, we know what the benefits are. $8,000 a month is a little bit under. $8,000 a month is $96,000 a year. Right now, obviously, it's more money if you look at per week. So that 400 or 2,000 a week times 52 weeks, that's 104,000. So we're gonna look at it at a week, not a month, because you get more money looking at it per week than you do per month. You actually look at an $8,000 difference if you're looking at it per week. All right. So God has blessed me with revelation on this stuff. I've given it to you guys for free because God gave it to me for free just by taking the time. And I actually got another video that I'm gonna post after this one because I don't want to combine too many different thoughts. But I'm gonna make another video after this one to talk about what God showed me this morning to give you even a deeper insight on how to use and how to become a Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Kobe Bryant of Forex, because you got to know every facet of the game to play. But those things don't come by just wanting to get stats. They come by taking the time and looking at the charts and practice. Everything that I've been exposed to came from me having a desire to just want to see what else I can see. in the midst of the same playing field, the same quote unquote basketball court, metaphorically speaking. But I have not got comfortable with the results because I want to maximize my exposure to get the most out of this skill of trading. All right. So let's just go on. Let's go on being consistent. Let's find a path and not worrying about anything but consistency. Give it time. And then one thing I like to look at it as, which helps me to not become so consumed, is have another stream of income. Right? You got the forex. If you like for me, or if you have to get you something that you can do to balance out whatever, find you a hobby, go to the gym, get involved in a group, a nonprofit, find you something that you can do to build the proper discipline of not over trading. You got to keep the goal in front of you, right? Get you a whiteboard, or put it in a magnetic whiteboard, or whatever you got to do, so that when you're trading by your trade setup, you can have these goals. You can have these things to remind you what is the reason for it all. What is the why for this endeavor, beyond just having a lot of money and changing what you have outside your house, changing your house. It has to be more than just having a lot of more stuff, right? Who do you want to bless? What do you want God to do with you as a result of having these resources? Because they all started with Him, right? Thank God for borning us, having us being born in a time where this was even possible, because this opportunity to trade was not always available to the public. It wasn't always available because of technology, all these other things to be thankful for. We get that, be thankful. But what is the reason for it all? Right? Take your time. Once you hit your goal, don't get so lost in how much you just made, because just because you had a $1,500 day, that don't mean change up your lot size. That's not the goal. The goal is to hit 8,000, right? So if you hit 8,000 before the end of the month, okay, go to the next goal. What's the next goal? You up it. My next goal is going from I actually wrote it down, $400 a day to $1,000 a day. From after that, $1,000 a day. Once I hit that goal, and I work that goal for 20 days, which is 20. It's either 20 days or 20,000. Like when you go get your oil change, it gives you two different options to choose from before you have to come back in and get your oil change. So it'll either tell you your next mileage when you hit this amount of miles, or when you hit this date on the calendar, you come back in for an oil change. Find practical ways to give you time to become disciplined in an area, and then once you hit that date or that amount, you up the lot size. That way you're building your discipline, and you're building your capital at the same time. So for my first goal, which is the first month, $400 a day for 20 days, or which either 20 days straight, which is the month, or 8,000. Goal number two, $1,000 a day for 20 days, which is a month of trading days, or 20K. Goal number three, $5,000 a day for a month, or 100,000. So I'm not even considering going up in my lot size until I hit the 20 days for the $400 a day to get the 8,000, or until I hit 8,000, because it may not take you 20 days trading at the same lot size to hit 8,000. It may not take you 20 days trading at $1,000 a day to make 20,000, because you're still upping your lot size. That's all you're doing. So, okay, what would my lot size for the first situation is a standard lot. Okay, my lot size for the next phase is 10 standards. My lot size for the phase after that is what was I going? So no, it can't be. Oh, that's not right. 20. So here, my lot size for the first one is because basically I'm dividing my goal by 40 or 50. So for the 400 bucks a day, I'm trading at $10 a pip, which is a standard. For the $1,000 a day, I'm trading at uh, $25 a pip, which is 2.5 standards. Okay, and then for the next phase, which is at $5,000 a day, I'm trading at $100 a pip, which is 10 standards. And then for the last phase, which is not last, but for the sake of this video, the $10,000 a day, I'm trading at $200 a pip. And obviously, you see how my lot size and my goals are not where I need. I need 100 pips to get this, or I need an amazing amount of pips to accomplish the goal. Right? So it's set up for me to win. I don't need a gold. I don't need a gold trade to make this happen. I can use a GU to make this happen. GU and consistency. I have so many different ways to trade, so many different ways to see opportunities. I mean, I got at least 3 or 4 ways to see opportunities in a trading day. So I should be able to get at least 1 to 2 good trades to make that happen, right? So that's the importance of continuing to sit in front of the chart. But this all means nothing if we are not consistent. If you are not consistent, it doesn't matter. None of this matter. None of the car guru save cars. None of the realtor save or like houses matter. None of the goals matter if there's no pathway to accomplish them, right? And you don't need a lot of money to start. I've done it with $10. I've turned $10 into $4. You just need patience, and you need the right strategy, the right mindset, because you can take now most of these account holder platforms, you can't go anything less than $10. So obviously with $10, if you use Cash App, you gotta spend you gotta buy at least 15 to 18 bucks of Bitcoin. Because when you turn into Bitcoin, it's a small deduction to your amount. Then when you send it, depending on how fast you send it, it's a fee for that, right? So, but if you got $20 and patience and the right strategy, you can still make that 8,000 in that month. Obviously, you have to grow it, but once you hit that stride, you will be there. So you obviously, because I'm gonna do that, we all have to. We may not all have 400 or 500, right? But what's more important than having the money is having the practice. If you don't have the practice, you're going to blow the money. I'll say that again. If you don't have enough practice hours in, you're going to blow the money. And when you blow the account, which is blowing the money, it's going to remove the motivation to even go down this path to achieve this goal. Right? $8,000 a month is high middle class. That's how much money people make with masters and bachelor's degrees, right? So this skill is not the problem. It's you doing it. All right. Once you got enough information, it's no need for you to go and up it. Before you look at any other strategy, give what you've been given a chance to work. Right? Take the time. We used to have science experiments, science projects in middle school, right? Even for some of us, even in high school. We don't do that. We don't take the time and experiment with strategies and say, okay, this didn't work. Because the goal, in order for you to be consistent, you have to test the consistency of your strategy, right? You have to. It's no way around that. You have to test the consistency of your strategy. If you're not testing the consistency of your strategy, you should not be trading live. Because your confidence should be in the probability of you getting it right over how much times you're getting it wrong. So if you got an 85% win ratio, that's a good strategy. If you got a 70% win ratio, that's a good strategy. So out of 10 trades, you're getting 7 of them right. Okay, you can be consistent with that. But if you got a 20%, 30, 40% win rate, it's gonna kill your motivation. It's gonna make you do things against the goal. So I just want to show you guys that. So now I'm gonna let this video run. How do I want to do this? Because I still got the other. I still have the other trade. Yeah, I'm gonna make another video. So okay, it closed me out. Great. Now that it closed me out, I'm going to talk about, because I was worried about the trade. I'm glad I put my stop loss in profit. It closed me out. Now what I want to talk about is what I want to call 5G. 5G is the opposite of G5, and it's something that I noticed this morning. It is when the 50 moving average and the baseline are parallel, meaning they're heading in the same direction. When the 50 moving average and the baseline are heading in the same direction, you trade in the direction that they're heading in, right? So let's go to like H4, okay? So let me show you a parallel. So look between here and here. This whole week was 5G. 5G. You got 50 moving average heading up, baseline heading up. This was all buys. All of these was buys. So once it hit here, that's straight up stair step, right? 5G. Here's another one. This is heading down. This is heading down. 5G. This is heading up. This is heading up. 5G. Right? This is heading down. This is heading down. 5G. So this pullback here, sell. I wish I seen this a long time ago. 2,500 pips. All right? 5G. Here's one. Now this is something. This is big boy here. This one trade could have been held for weeks. Weeks. That's 10,000. That's 10,000 pips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 2 months. But you gotta have mad patience to do that. Anyways, just for the sake of where I was at, here to here, that's 1,300 pips. 5G. Now obviously, you still have opportunities to trade because we talked about the clouds, and I get that. But I wanted just to reveal that to you. Now let's go. Most people don't trade on the H4. Okay, so let me go down to the 15 minute and break it down, because there's some 5Gs on the 15 minute too. We got, see this going down, this going down, 5G down, right? So if you got in here, 430 pips, nothing there, nothing there. You got this slight move, this was heading down, this was heading down. 170. All right, and just look at that. When the baseline and the 50 moving average are heading in the same direction, you trade that. This is going up, this is going up. 300. Now, obviously, we know that, like I said before, once you get the cloud situation, it's going up. It's going up. Now, I'm not going to, for all these other trades that you see here, these type of trades, I spoke about that in the last video, so I'm not going to talk about that in this video because I want you to focus on the 5G. When the 50 moving average and the baseline, and I call it G because my baseline is gold. When the gold baseline and the 50 moving average are heading in the same direction, you trade in that direction. Now, obviously, you know that you can see that these trades are not forever, but it should be enough for you to get in and get out. 200 pips. All right. Now let's go back to GU because I don't want to throw you off with my overall stance on this. So let's stick to GU so that you guys can see. Here's one here. Baseline, 50 moving average head in the same direction. All right. That's 160 pips for 2 days. Here's another one. Baseline going up, 50 moving average going up. So it's opportunities to trade. We got the 50-50 cross when the baseline crosses when the gold baseline crossed the fixed baseline as a trade strategy, we got the G5, which is when that's a counter trend trade, a counter trend slash trend changing strategy. Then we got the 5G, that is a continuation strategy. Then we got the moving average cross, right? Then we got it's so many ways. We got the RSI levels, which I just made a couple days ago. Well, yesterday. That's like five or six different ways to trade. You figure out which one works for you. This is what I was saying. This is the G5. When you got price above the baseline, but under the 50 moving average. That's a buy. Right? There's all these ways to trade. You got the G5 turns into a 5G. G5 turns to a 5G. So the buy turns into a continuation. So if you miss this one, if you miss the G5, look out for a 5G when the moving averages and the baseline go in the same direction. So this would have been the entry for a sell. For a buy, forgive me. Right? So all these different ways to trade. And it is what it is. But that's all for today, being that the gold trade had been stopped out. So I'm gonna let this upload, and then I'm gonna post this to my YouTube page and then to the Facebook page. But you guys have a great day, and I'll pick up tomorrow with another live trade. All right.